Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the Jackson Interaction Podcast. I'm your host, the king of all wrestling media, Gene Jackson. Excited to get back into podcasting, the old one on one interviews. It's been a while since I did one of these. And so, for my first episode, I knew exactly who I wanted to talk to. A guy I've been wanting to interview again for a while. I had him on a couple times on Locals to Legends Wrestling Radio. He had some fun stories, and so I thought, man, he's done a hell of a lot since then. So there's no telling what all he's got to tell us now. So let's bring him on right now. My guest is going to be the martyr of the lost, the leader of the wasted generation, Shean Christopher. Shean, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well on this Sunday evening. Gene Jackson, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Fresh off a trip to Mississippi last night with the Violent Gentlemen,
Oh,
Xanders and Scott Morgan. We had some fun over there. Did the EPW TV and saw our mutual friend TJ over there who's shooting the TV over there. So haven't made a trip in a little while, so that was fun to get back out there and experience the wrestling fans. Now that there's actually fans out there, and so I think I think we'll kind of lead with that. I mean, I know that there was a kind of a short time period there where wrestling here just kind of stopped. We didn't really do the shows with no fans thing like they did on TV.
yeah.
But there was a break in there where we couldn't have shows, and then the shows came back, and the crowds have been kind of up and down with the pandemic and all that shit. So, just what has been your experience? How has the dreaded pandemic affected the life and career of Shean Christopher?
Well, I guess I'm at first it really sucked because it's like everything just stopped out of nowhere. And I remember I had like the SCI. There was like something with the SCI that was I was supposed to do, and I had like a couple like cool bookings that I was like super looking forward to before,
Yeah.
and I'll just kind of like shut it all down. But then also at the same time, it kind of gave me a chance to reflect like on what I was doing at the time, which is nothing like I'm doing now, and just reflect like, is this really what I want to do? Like, is this what I want Shean Christopher to be? And so yeah, so like it has its positives and negatives. Like I did do a few of like the the no fan wrestling shows, but they at least had like
Mhm.
wrestlers there that were I mean sometimes better than the actual like fans who are just
They knew how to react and what they should be doing.
exactly the fans just sitting on their phones like fucking 50% of the show. But yeah, so like those were weird, but I mean it's cool to have fans back, but I've also kind of like been spoiled of like not being around, the fans as far as like very close like contact interact
Right.
with the people. So I was a little spoiled by that. Now like it all just getting like shoved back in my face. So, like all these people just coming up to me pretending like we didn't not still currently going through a pandemic is a little strange, but it'll just take some adjusting.
Yeah, because like it seems like here recently, everybody's woke up one day like, you know what, we're done with this shit. We're just gonna act like none of this happened and it's not going on. And yeah, I can see from when you're dealing with the amount of people you guys are how that could be worrisome. To say the least. You kind of touched on something there, and kind of what I wanted, kind of the crux of the interview to sort of be. I'm getting old now, so it's getting to the point where there's a lot of guys like you that I know from the very beginning, even somewhat, before you ever stepped foot in the ring as a wrestler. When you were a ring announcer, I've known you since then up to now, and I mean the evolution of Shean Christopher from ring announcer to Greenhorn Militia to the original incarnation of Wasted Generation of you and Kevin Ryan, and then to Kudo Death Society, and then that dissolved to the man we see today. Um, has been an interesting journey, to say the least. But I know when Crunk went away, and all of a sudden the ADS just kind of dissolved. I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating, but I don't think that's probably was something that was planned out far in the future. It's kind of like, well, he's gone. Fuck, we do now. And so I know there were some people that were, like when you first turned, you were kind of on your own and you kind of formed this stable of your own, even though y'all had previously used the name Wasted Generation. Obviously, the current incarnation of Wasted Generation in no way resembles what that was before. There was a lot of people going, well, Sean, he's a good wrestler and he's a good supporting player, but is he going to be able to be a leader? Is he going to be able to be the guy? And I have to say, and I'm not just saying this because you're my guest, but it's one of the reasons I want you on here. Um, I've been impressed, and I've heard a lot of people talk about how impressed they've been with how you were able to immediately step up and be the guy. And I really enjoy the whole presentation, the change in look, the change in gear and gimmick. And then, you added Ravina and Braden and Sean Campbell and all that. And it just came together really quickly. Like, I didn't see any New South for a little bit, and then I turned it on, and I'm like, "Whoa, where the hell did this come from?" And I saw the match at the Hoss, and I think I even messaged you at the time. I was like, "Holy shit, dude! I love it. I love the music, like everything about it. I don't know how much time you spent laying all that out, but it came together well. And just kind of tell us how that all came together and kind of what the concept of it was."
So like yeah, you were right. It was like as far as the Chris Crunk leaving thing, that was not something that was like super far in advance. I think like maybe we had like two shows before when we knew that was happening, and then that I was doing the whole like turn on everybody and be a heel guy, and then from that point, like up until that show, those were like I was just forced to like me and fucking Donnie Janela in the lab trying to figure out like, okay, what the fuck do I do now? Though, like, how do
Right.
I step out of this? And like you said, because like there's a lot of expectations, like when someone fucking turns out of a group or whatever, like, oh, this guy's like got to be elevated, or like you don't either that or they're just gonna drown. And like there's
Right.
expectations either way. So I knew I couldn't just like be just regular ass Shean Christopher anymore. I had to be something more. And Donnie, for real, like he helped me with a lot of like the early stages. But even if you watch, like, I think the Haas tournament is when like everything like clicked. So it's like good that you missed all the awkward in between stuff. November to like March, there's like this weird like Shean Christopher, but not really Shean Christopher. Like it's like going on where like the song's there and there's like a little bit of the presence, but like it hasn't really like you can tell that something hasn't like clicked yet.
Right.
And then throughout the Haas tournament, like the story, like I don't know if like how well it was like projected to everyone else, but the story I was trying to tell through the tournament was that on the first day I had the fucking crazy hardcore match with Matt Justice, and he throws me off a fucking scaffold through some fucking plywood, which is terrible.
Right.
I still have a fucking scar on my back, the letter U, just like around my hip, and I don't even
Oh,
know from, but I know it's from that.
jeez.
So there's that, and then the next day it's like a half-ass like almost dead animal, basically like limping to the ring to wrestle Kevin Ryan, and then through Kevin Ryan pretty much puts Shean Christopher completely out, but then through shenanigans, of course, Shean Christopher still is able to win, but it basically took everything out of him to do that. So then when Shean Christopher, the Martyr, the lost Shean Christopher comes out for the finals, it's a completely different fucking human being now. It's like he's died and he has been reincarnated in front of your very fucking eyes over 2 days. You watched the entire thing happen. Here is Shean Christopher. Now he thinks he's fucking Jesus Christ.
I think the story was told well. I think if anybody who watched it all, over the course of those couple of days, was able to kind of read that. I think that's how it was played. Yeah, I was when you came out for that, for that match, I was like, holy shit, what is this? And I know, it got a lot of good reaction, and it got as anything is, but especially when there's a implied Jesus element to it, you're going to get a little flack in the South, but Overall, have you? I mean, did you get anything directly? Did like anybody really get like on your case? Like, hey, man, that's not cool, or was it just kind of, oh, he's mocking Jesus? Just kind of general.
Actually, I think there's like I think the beginning of New South no longer running in the JC Arena was that night when they like saw.
Oh,
Like I think that kind of like started the end of the JC Arena New South fucking thing. Because I know that Billy Adams told me I was not allowed to wear like any of the Jesus stuff after that, like in the JC Arena. So that was all banned immediately after like the first show. I know there was some dude allegedly threatening my life, or something. He's like, I'm waiting outside for him. Thing.
Jesus.
But I never saw him, so I don't know like how true it was. But apparently, there's some threats on my life, and then I know Billy Adams, the bad boy, fucking Alabama legend. If he doesn't want it, then you can't do it. So no.
That's funny you mentioned that because I've never really asked anybody, but I was kind of curious how the abrupt exit of New South from JC Arena happened, or what was the culprit of that, and that kind of maybe explains that. Because I mean, I guess a lot of people don't know, but JC Arena is short for Jesus Christ Arena, apparently. So don't spread that around, people. That's not exactly true, but yeah, I mean, you can't cross the legendary Billy Adams because he's a wrestling legend and he cuts grass for the city of Coleman, so he carries a lot of stroke around here. Or around there. I'm used to being in Coleman. Now I'm down in Gadsden. I'll still say here like I'm in freaking Coleman.
Much greener pastures.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it really a bad thing for New South to be out of the JC Arena? Honestly, I mean, I realized at the time, I don't, they were redoing the place in Hartselle and all that, and with everything going on, I mean, I guess it was kind of convenient to be there at the time, but. Boy, it was tough watching some of those shows and hearing, we're here at the historic JC Arena. And I'm like, man, this place has been a fucking laughing stock for the last few years. And now, we got it. I mean, I understand. What are you going to do? Like, yeah, we're at the shithole here in Hanceville. But you could tell it was kind of strange. Some of the announcers were like, yeah, we got the Halls tournament. We got Davey Boy Smith Jr. in the fucking JC Arena where Mickey Henry used to run. I'm like, damn, how long till we end up in the historic 10 building in Boaz if, things go south? But, you persevered and now y'all have moved on and running over here in Gadsden and, seeing some different places, which is cool. Because like I say, I don't think it was a bad thing that y'all left, even if it was because of you and your gimmick. Maybe that should make you a hero at some point that you got New South out of the JC Arena.
You're welcome.
Exactly. So I kind of skipped past it, but it made me think of something when you were talking about the injury. You happened in that Matt Justice match. Backing up, one match that I did see for sure was, and I want to say this was when it was you and Kevin were still teaming, and you guys were, I want to say, wrestling Brandon Williams and Dump.
Oh man, I know exactly.
And I guess you know what's coming since I prefaced it with injury. That dive, that frontward dive off the top into that chair on the floor. Do you still feel that now when you're walking each day?
Oh yeah, dude. That's constantly reminded of that every single fucking day. I grunt when I bend over now, and I can't even control it. It just fucking comes out like a 55-year-old man sitting down on a fucking recliner. Like I'm just, but that's all and the worst part, complete accident. Like it looks real cool, and I like to think, yeah, dude, it was definitely planned like that, and I'm just fucking crazy. See, everyone after that happened, everyone labels me as oh, Shean Christopher's fucking crazy. He'll do anything. But what they didn't know is that it was no way at all. If I would have known that was the end result, would I have ever agreed to do that or come up with that? Because it was my fucking stupid idea. But my theory was, if I jump off the top and I hit the top of the chair, my back will land on that part and it will slap the concrete and make a loud ass noise, but I can just kind of roll off the top of the chair. What I didn't plan on is the chair not really being there at all
Yeah.
when I flipped. So I just hit the straight fucking concrete. And I remember every single fucking limb in my body just completely went numb. And I was like, oh, great. I am laying here on the floor of the historic fucking JC Arena. And
Because that's where you want your career to be ended.
I'm lying right
How'd you end up in that wheelchair? Well, it all started at the JC Arena in Hansville.
the same place fucking is wrestling the Executioner for the SCPW fucking.
That's right.
I ended.
I remember watching that, and it was kind of one of those deals where I was doing something on the computer and watching at the same time, and I just looked up right as you were going to the top, and I looked and like, all right, he's going to the top. There's a chair, and Brandon's obviously getting ready to move here. You can see his legs already tensing up.
Yeah.
And when you dove, I was like, oh, and then you hit, and I rewound it like 3 or 4 times. I was like, holy fuck. Like, oh my God, how is he not going to be crippled after that? And when you were back up finishing the match, I was stunned because as soon as you hit the ground, I was like, oh, that's it, man. Like, he's going to be in a goddamn wheelchair.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, like, all these guys, like I said, that I know that I've kind of known from the beginning and watched your career and especially like my friends that do these dumbass death matches.
Oh,
like, it hurts me to watch you guys do crazy shit because I'm like, oh God, man, don't do that. Don't do that.
Age boy. Now you're watching me fucking flip 15 feet on this concrete, the JC Arena.
And it can't anyway. Like, as I see you about to dive, I'm like, there's no way this goes well. But like I said, I could kind of, and especially now that you've explained it, but even looking at him, like, I think I know what he was going for there, but the chair just wasn't there. I mean, you essentially like just did a front flip just straight off on a concrete floor and no padding, no, not nothing, just goddamn floor. Like,
yeah.
And as soon as you said something about injury, I go, oh man, how did we skip past that? Because like ever since I saw that, I'm like, I got to. Next time I talk to him, we've got to talk about this because holy shit, he'll feel that the rest of his life, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and that's what spawned the Matt Justice thing, anyways. Because like that happened, and then like I said, everyone thinks like, oh, Shean Christopher's a crazy motherfucker. We just got to book him in a fucking no DQ match with this fucking madman. Matt Justice is the craziest motherfucker I've ever met in my entire life. Ever.
Legit.
Ever. Yes, 100%. The man threw me off a fucking scaffold, didn't bat twice, and then was up partying until like 6 a.m. that morning. I remember Two Fly Ty told me, he was like, there was like a big moment of realization because it was like some like Hoss after party that everyone was just like convening at. And like he's like, I look over in this room and I see like Shean Christopher just crumpled in the fucking floor, almost in tears. And then I look over here and Matt Justice is just fucking partying like a. And he's like, I've never like just seen like two sides of the same coin ever.
You're like, you either end up this guy or you end up that guy, but there's not a lot of middle ground there. That's that's crazy. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like when you have some spectacular bump like that, people talk about it, and because when it happened, I was watching, and I'm like, well, he couldn't have got bad hurt because this is pre-recorded. Like it would have been all over Facebook if he broke his shit and went out in an ambulance or something. Like, so I know he's okay, but I don't know how. But like that's the only thing is like if you become labeled that crazy bump guy, like you said, then that's when people are like, well, people are going to expect Shean to take a crazy bump because that's what he does. And you end up like Mick Foley and have to dive off a goddamn Hell in a Cell because how do you keep topping yourself? So I'm glad you found a way to kind of taper off from that a bit, and that didn't become your thing. It's like, well, each bigger event, Shean has to do a bigger bump until we just manage to break him in half, literally. So, the Hoss thing was, I guess, like you say, is kind of where the gimmick kicked off and it just kind of took on a whole new life. And so how did you come about? Like, was it your decision who was a part of the Wasted Generation, or just kind of they were like, hey, these guys are here, make that work? I mean, because I know you're friends with Braden and everything. And so I'm just kind of curious how that came about. If you really got to choose those guys, or that was? And I don't want to kill your gimmick if you're like, yeah, man, they stuck them with me, and here we are. I just think there's got to be a fun story about how it came together. Is what I'm getting
I
at.
mean, there kind of is actually because, ironically enough, like, or not ironically enough, but fucking when New South they started running the JC Arena, then Bad Boy Billy Adams wanted to start his Bad Boy Pro show, but he wanted Dump Sanders to book it, and Dump Sanders Dump Sanders was like sending people to like try to find like people to book on the Bad Boy Pro shows. And someone had messaged me and asked me like, "Hey, do you know anyone from like that would like want to work this Bad Boy Pro, like that you would want to work this Bad Boy Pro show?" Because like knowing that it was like kind of like a gateway into New South, and I picked three people. One was a guy named Ryan Piles, and then the other two were Braden Toon and Sean Campbell. I was like, those are the three people that like if you're gonna put on this show, because these are three people that I want to see on New South and like be able to like grow and progress there. So, and then like they were all booked on the fucking first show. Ryan Powell's got injured like before, so he wasn't able to like actually make the Bad Boy Pro shows when Dump Sanders was booking him. But yeah,
Right.
and when Braden Toon like got on that way, and then Dump Sanders like fell in love with Sean Campbell on the first day because Sean Campbell's a fucking psychopath. And yeah, then they started booking them on the New South shows, and then finally, like I had heard that they kind of wanted them to be put with me. Like I heard like murmurs, and then also uh, JD Rush was a number. Was it like he's one that didn't make it like past the cut. He's one of the Wasted Gen members like you didn't see because he like
Mm,
supposed to be, and like he did this like entire like heel turn and everything, and then like just he never was there ever again.
wow.
I don't know what happened. I don't know the inside scoop on the quick departure of JD Rush, but I know that at one point he was like being built to be put in the Wasted Generation, and then all of a sudden he just wasn't anymore. So, but yeah, it was like kind of like a lot of I mean, it was a lot of like Dump Sanders and Donnie, like their ideas, and then they wanted like a female in the group. And originally, uh, Morgana or Ravenna actually turned the spot down. Like originally, she was like, "No, nah,
Really?
dude, yeah." So dick move. She originally like turned it down because she just I don't know. She just didn't
Yeah.
want to. And I was like, cool, whatever. So then they like started pitching like other people, and then finally I was like, I just like can't imagine this like without like her being in it because she
Yeah.
just fit it so perfect, and she was like at all the New South shows anyways. I was like, it just doesn't make sense why we wouldn't. So I just like asked her one more time. I was like, hey, like if you want to do this, it would just be real cool, and I'd just be real happy about it. Finally, she was like, all right, whatever, dude. I'll fucking do your little stuff. Go in your dumb little fucking cold. Now here we that was the plan all along.
Well, that's some fun what ifs there. Of JD Rush could have been a prominent member, and Ravina could have not even been in it. So wow. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. You brought that up. Was that it was described to me at one point that Bad Boy Pro is going to be the OVW of New South, and essentially, like OVW did for WWE back in the day, where guys would go there and then they would work themselves up to the main roster, if you will.
Yeah.
And I guess that was kind of effective in some ways because, like you said, Sean Campbell and Braden Toon started out there, and they ended up in your group, and then those body shop guys were pretty prominent over there, and they're like tag team champions now. So I guess that paid off. But again, was the Bad Boy Pro thing no longer being intertwined with New South, all tied in with the losing the building and all that just kind of went away at once?
I think Billy Adams was like, man, I want to run Bad Boy Pro by myself. And Dump Sanders was like, all right, man. Well, I guess I just won't use your building anymore. I guess I don't really know, but I
Yeah.
think that like I know the Jesus Christ imagery was a big no that they hated. And definitely the Bad Boy Pro New South relationship was an issue, and then cussing. Like they didn't like us cussing before the shows because like they would have like at like 2 p.m. they for whatever reason have like their fucking 12 nieces and nephews running around the fucking building while the entire wrestling was trying to be set up,
Right.
cussing at each other because everyone's trying to set up a wrestling ring, and that's not an easy process whatsoever. So, yeah,
Yeah,
but
I mean, you
those
might manage to get guys to not cuss on a show, but you're not going to get them to not cuss before the show, after the show, and in the back. So that's just not going to happen. I mean, and if anybody should know that, Bad Boy Billy Adams should be around long enough to know that's just part of the deal. But yeah, the old Bad Boy. Well, I mean, look at Bad Boy Pro now. I mean, it's just
on the cover.
cavalcade of superstars going on over there. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the amazing Bad Boy Pro show
Yeah.
in Hansville. You have to go to another podcast to do that. But anyway, we'll get back on track here. So this year, man, you've it's been a banner year for Shean Christopher. Like I say, you know, the stable has come together, and you've had some big matches. Including that one with Matt Justice. I watched one recently you had with Danhausen, who's blowing up huge on the independent scene this year. Um, and I was like, oh, that's all. Like, I turned on that episode and was like, oh, that's awesome, man. Sean's wrestling Danhausen. So, what? How was that? Tell us about that experience.
Incredible. Danhausen is such a class act, such a great just guy, and he's so easy to work with. We pretty much had the entire match put together in 5 minutes. Like, we just looked at each other, we spoke for spoke back and forth, just threw some things back and forth, and then we just walked away, and then we came back a couple hours for the match, and just it was just easy. It was super easy being in there with him. And this was also I think I wrestled him, and then literally the day afterwards, the Conan or the Conan podcast came out with him on it.
Yeah,
The Rock started talking about him, and then started talking about him because at the time I was like, oh, this is Danhausen. It's a big deal. He's on ROH, and he's this huge indie star. And then right afterwards, I'm like, oh my god, everyone fucking is talking about Danhausen. There's what he he told me that I was Mordecai if Mordecai didn't suck.
that's high praise actually, because that character had so much potential.
Yeah,
And you could tell the way they led into it. They had high hopes and good intentions for him, but unfortunately, I just don't think the guy portraying him was able to carry out what they wanted. So that's actually a pretty big compliment, I would think.
I was that's the best praise I could possibly get.
Mordecai, you got to. If you ever put a resume together, you've got to put that on there. Danhausen said, "I was like Mordecai. Mordecai didn't suck." But yeah, I mean, they're saying now that I guess Bray Wyatt's tweeted out some stuff implying that he would like to team with Danhausen when he comes back to wrestling and all this shit. So yeah, I mean, that dude is blowing up huge.
Yeah, dude, he really has blown up. Just and I think he's one of the people that the pandemic kind of benefited in a way, because he's just so entertaining online, to where people just have nothing else to do, and they're they can't go to any wrestling shows. They could just fucking watch little 45-second clips of Danhausen saying stupid shit on the internet through the entirety of 2020. And then he became everyone's favorite wrestler. And then when wrestling came back, he was booked everywhere, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's a good wrestler too." As long as
Exactly, because that's how I came. That's how I came aware of him, was watching clips on YouTube, and I'd probably seen 50 Danhausen videos before I ever even saw him inside of a ring.
Yeah.
And then when I saw him the Mike Bennett match, I think is what I saw first from when he came to New South, and I was like, holy shit, because you just assume when somebody has that much of a gimmick, they're like, all right, well, he's compensating for something. It's completely a gimmick. I'm sure it's all comedy when he gets in the ring, and there's nothing wrong with that. Then when you got in, you see him fucking work, oh my god, this guy, he don't even really need the gimmick. I mean, it definitely helps. Yeah. And I think a lot of people should have followed that, during the pandemic, when so many people were sitting at home, whether they were quarantined or their work was shut down or whatever. If people would have pumped out a lot more videos and stuff to get their characters over, I think a lot of people probably could have had that kind of payoff when the fans came back. But he certainly cashed in on more than anybody I've seen.
Yeah. I definitely him and like Effie. I know Effie
Yeah.
like was already like a deal before then, but he like really blew up when he started doing like his Twitch streaming, and everyone just saw like how fucking ridiculous and entertaining that guy is. I wish then like that I had already like had this entire idea and like could have actually like put out stuff for it, but instead I just like sat around playing fucking PlayStation 4 with Tyler Franks for months.
Like, sweet, I don't have to be anywhere this weekend. I'm gonna fucking
Exactly.
not think about this wrestling shit for a minute. Which there's something to be said for that too. But so what's some other matches you've had this past year that's really stood out and made a difference for you?
I mean, I wrestled Cabana Man Dan twice, once, and like it's like the difference between the two matches that would really like kind of stands out is that I wrestled him in December of like 2020, and I remember at the end of that match I was fucking exhausted, like blown sky the fucking high, and you could tell like watching, like when I watch it back, I was like, Jesus Christ, like I'm moving like sluggish. I'm like missing shit, slipping on stuff. I like at one point I fucking I went to like do this cool little, you know, that like thing Leo Rush does where he like bounces off the bottom rope on his ass and like hits a stunner.
Yeah.
I went to like do something like that. No, I just slipped right out the fucking ring. It's like
Oh shit.
this thing's ever. And then I have to scramble to like. But anyways, like that match is just like it was good, like, and I thought it was good at the time. But then going back and rewatching it and comparing it to the one I had like in June with Dan, now that I've from December to June, I've lost like fucking almost 50 pounds at this point. Just like I actually started going to the gym. Like people ask me like, man, Sean, like what are you doing? Like what kind of crazy stuff? And I'm like, I just like started going to the gym finally. Like I just never went before. And then I stopped drinking soda and just drink a fucking probably an unhealthy amount of water every single day. And just
Yeah.
but just the difference between those. So like that Dan match I'm really proud of. And now even fucking Dan is like blowing up now and he's everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Place like he's been on like the cusp of that for like the past 3 years, but now it seems like he's finally like breaking through and like moving up. He's booked fucking all over the place every week. But yeah, so that match with Dan was really good. I had a match with Should D. I was real proud of, but it wasn't even recorded, so that kind of like sucks. One of those like untelevised top shelf shows.
Yeah.
But that was fun. I had a match with Kenzie Page that I really enjoyed this past year. We just like beat the dog shit out of each other. That was fun. And I got my stuff with Chris Frank. Like I don't know. Oh yeah, I wrestled Logan Creed in a casket match. How the fuck did
I was going to bring up your feud with Logan Creed because you had a few matches there, but yeah, especially the casket match. I mean,
yeah, I got to do a fucking casket match, which is fucking awesome. I'm like the biggest Undertaker fan imaginable, and to be able to fucking wrestle a casket match with like a fucking giant of a human being is just like a dream come true for me. So I can't forget that was fucking.
And he's blowing up now too,
Yeah, Logan Creed finally fucking after a ridiculous amount of fucking time. He was telling me that he used to like send VHS tapes to promoters. Like that's how long he's been wrestling.
Wow.
I was like, damn, like, and you're just now, like, someone is finally recognizing like the fucking talent that has been just sitting here for all these years.
It shows how much wrestling has changed because I mean, a few years ago, I mean, it would have been like a ride at an amusement park. Like if he was at the back of the line, they're like, "Oh, you're 6'9" and you can actually work." And come on, you're going to skip past all these guys and go straight to the front of the fucking line.
Yeah.
And somehow Creed stayed stuck in that line all this time. And every time I'd see him, like, how the hell is this guy not on TV somewhere? With his size and his ability. So it's like you say, it's good to see somebody's finally noticing before he's got frustrated and said fuck it and went home.
So that would be a fucking huge waste.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, Logan Creed was crazy. That dude's fucking. That's another goddamn psychopath. I don't.
and you blinded him in one eye anyway.
Yeah, so he'll never be back at New South for sure. There's no way like he'll come back with any like new character or anything. He's just.
Some big tall guy shows up. It's not Logan Creed. If he's, I mean, some dude in a mask shows up that's kind of built like him. Can't be because
Yeah,
Shean Christopher took him out.
yeah, he is dead.
Yeah, I knew when I heard the casket match advertised, I was like, "Oh, Sean's shitting bricks, man!" I like because I know. I mean, everybody knows, your Undertaker fandom. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be his dream match right here.
Crazy enough, like Dump Sanders messaged me and was like, "Hey, what kind of match do you want to like wrestle Logan Creed in?" And I like sent, I was like, "We could do like some sort of, because like not in my wildest fucking dreams I think we'd be able to do a casket match." And then I was like, "We could do like some sort of like no DQ fucking 2 out of 3 falls or something, and like I can just kind of like give it like a fucking spooky name, and then we can just like be done with it and pretend like it's something bigger than it is." And then he's like, "Oh, we already have like a no DQ match, so like think of something else." He was like, "Well, it could do anything because it's the anniversary show." And I was like, "When you say anything, then my mind goes like, okay, like how crazy can we really get?" So I sent back like casket match, and I was like, but like not expecting it at all. And then like 20 minutes later, I get a reply, and he's like, "Yep, like we're getting started on the casket right now." And I was like, "Oh fuck." I'm really about to wrestle Logan Creed in a fucking casket match. What a fucking, yeah, that was insane.
Nice. See, you should have leveraged it. You should have been like, well, either a Hell in a Cell or a casket match. And then Dump's like, we could probably make a casket, but goddamn Hell in a Cell would be a tall order. But you got it anyway. You didn't even have to do that. So
Yeah.
it works out. So, coming up this Saturday night, you've got a big match against a guy you've got a lot of history with. We mentioned him a couple of times in passing in this interview. But your first major heel turn when you and Kevin Ryan joined up with Chris Crunk as part of Kudo Death Society, which they were already kind of cooking there. Him and Donnie had gotten that over, and then you guys joined up, and then as Chris Crunk does, I'm not gonna go in, say a lot about it to get you shit stirred up, but as Chris Crunk does, he suddenly was gone. And like I said, which wasn't a bad thing because that was one of the questions I had for you. Had Crunk stayed and the Kudo Death Society continued in the path it was on at the time, and whatever plans y'all had before that kind of curveball came, do you think you would be where you're at right now, character wise, had he stuck around this whole time?
No, dude, nowhere near. And I remember like at the time, like when the breakup was like first told to like all of us, it seemed like it was the fucking like end of the world. Like it was the absolute worst possible thing that could have happened at the time. And I was like, man, there's like Chris Crunk's gone, and like he like we actually like didn't speak to each other for almost an entire year. Me and Chris Crunk, like after that, like he didn't speak to me because he thought that like I had initiated the like getting rid of Chris Crunk thing. When that, I mean, well, for legal reasons, that's 100% true, but for real, it's not true at all. But if you ask the Martyr of the Lost Shean Christopher on the street if he,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure he did. But uh, as human beings, no, I did not want Chris Crunk to like no longer be at New South at all. So, but like, so we really didn't.
Hey, your sound's gone.
Okay, am I?
There we go. Now you're
Okay,
back.
I got a phone call from some fucking stupid ass spam call from Ohio. They fucking like I get like 35 spam calls a day, and I hate it. So,
A fucking extended warranty, man. They're trying to help you
yeah,
out.
trying to extend that shit. Fuck, spam calls, Donnie Janela have ruined me on phone calls. I will like never answer phone calls ever now because of that. But anyway, fucking me and Chris Crunk didn't talk, but I think like if we would have continued on the like ADS path and just like seen where that like I don't entirely know like where that would be, like where we would be at that point. I know that I would probably be still like background character ADS member number 3 because like
Right.
I didn't know how to like break out from that while being compared to like Kevin Ryan, who's like so over the top when it comes to like his wrestling and like his mannerisms and like all these things that it's hard to like compete with that. And then Chris Crunk is like he's like a big storyteller and he's like got these emotions and like he can talk and like all these things and it's like hard to compete like with those two right next to me. So I needed to
Right.
break away from that, find who Shean Christopher actually is, and now we can all work together instead of like we're all three trying to like one up each other the entire time.
Yeah.
So I think
I
it
mean,
was
I
all
think y'all probably would have found your way there, but at the time, it kind of struck me. I knew there had to be more to the story because I'm like, there's a lot more left. Like ADS still had a lot more life left in it. It felt like, well, we're doing this early. Like, there's a lot more they could have done with these guys. Um, and I thought, you and Kevin still needed a little more time in that kind of role before you broke off and took on a bigger one. But it worked out. I mean, you were up for the task. But
I
yeah,
definitely
that was certainly a concern at the time. Like, oh, this probably needs to hang around a little longer.
yeah, we did too, like because like I said, it still took like 4 or 5 months for like any of the new stuff to even like click in my head or like register with the fans or like finally start connecting with like at all because you're right, like I still needed like that time to like still learn about like who the fuck I am and who I want to be like post ADS and just but like yeah, it did have that I at least had that like 4 or 5 month break where like I was able to find it along the way.
Right.
Kind of like fucking just getting thrown into the fire. It's like, hey, go fucking. You're on fucking Action Clash every single week, cutting promos now. Like, and here's this new character. Good luck. But we
But
found it.
sometimes that's what it takes is just being thrown into the fire, and you either thrive or you burn up, and you thrive. So that's cool. And now Chris Crunk has found his way back to New South, and so obviously Crunk shows back up. What's the obvious story that you got to tell? I mean, he's got unfinished business here with one of his former stable mates, and so here we are. And so tell me about this match y'all got coming Saturday night. I've seen some things online, and I'm like, holy shit, this has the potential of sounding like it could have some other something crazy going on in it.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. So it's fucking Stairway to Hell match, which like I don't really know what the fuck it means. I know at least that there's like fucking devilish, like evil looking weapon that I now carry with me that I don't have with me now, which like sucks. Sean Campbell has stolen it. So he has it in his possession. Hopefully he will have it in his possession on Saturday, October the 30th, or he might be hanging something else from the top of the fucking center. But like I have this weapon now that I introduced like at the last show because obviously like you know how it is, man. Like I introduced a weapon that now there's like a match out of it. Like, that's
Right.
how wrestling works. So I fucking have this thing. It's got nails in it. It has some fucking chains hanging. It's like really just a big ass piece of wood with some weird shit on it. So
But it's
that's
evil, obviously. I mean, it's got some power.
yeah.
We're assuming, you know.
Fucking yeah. It's got Paul Bear, just fucking Undertaker's ashes down in the fucking wood. But that's getting hung fucking 150 fucking feet in the air in the Sparkman Civic Center because that's the highest fucking like building that we've run. So I'm glad that I have the fucking honor and privilege to be climbing a fucking big ass like not a championship now, it's a fucking stick. And from what I've found or what other people have found, a Stairway to Hell match, apparently the weapon that is typically or that's suspended is typically also wrapped in barbed wire. And like you're supposed to unwrap the barbed wire from the weapon before you get it down. I don't know if that's like
Jesus.
a clause in this. If it was, I was not informed about it. I just like somebody sent it to me and they're like, "Is this what this Stairway to Hell match is?" And I was like, "Well, you know more than I do."
Well,
And
let's hope not. I can't imagine Crunk would be excited about having to unwrap barbed wire from it first either. I don't know, like y'all might be able to both vote that down, even though you hate each other and you're in this embroiled in this feud. Like, let's just agree we don't need fucking barbed wire invited, into this party.
so if it's essentially a ladder match with a fucking with a weapon, the person that gets it down use it. But then here's what I'd never really get about these matches is like the person that gets it down can use it, but like the person that is down there and like doesn't do the work can kind of just like reverse what they do and take the weapon from them, and then like everyone's fucked. I think
Exactly.
so. I don't know, but like I'm in it, so that's what I know, and I'm gonna try my fucking damnedest to climb that ladder, and I'm gonna try to grab that fucking thing, and I'm gonna try not to fall off.
Because I mean, strategy wise, if I'm managing Shean Christopher going into this match Saturday night, I'm pulling you aside and be like, look, it ain't whoever gets it first wins. It's whoever gets it first uses it. Let Crunk climb up there and bust his ass and fall off or whatever the fuck. Let him bring it down. Then as soon as he brings it down, me and Toon and Campbell will all jump on him and we'll get it away from him. Then you just beat the hell out of him and then you'll win. And boom. Hopefully that's not a spoiler. We'll go back and edit this out if it turns out you're like, oh, wow, dude, way to ruin the fucking match. But yeah, because that was always something. Because back in the day before ladder matches became popular, in the olden days when I was going to Columbus, Mississippi, and watching live wrestling matches, they had pole matches and they'd have those coal miner's glove or whatever kind of weapon on top of the pole, and same deal. Whoever climbs up there and gets it down can use it, but then if they get it taken away from them, it get used on them. But ladder match, if the Intercontinental title is hanging up there, or if 2 Intercontinental titles are hanging up there, because somehow we ended up with an extra one, you get up there and unsnap that bad boy, it's over. You've won. Now the shit's just beginning. Once you get that down, now you got to go try to use it, not get it taken away from you, and possibly unwrap it out of barbed wire. It sounds like so.
Like if there's barbed wire wrap, like that's even like an extra element of like, why would I even attempt it? Like I could just do all the work, get his fucking shit just cut up by all this barbed wire, and then he's easy picking.
Yeah, you just pick the bones afterwards. Like, and then I have something else I've always wondered about these kind of matches too, from a psychology standpoint. Do you have to go up there and get it? I mean, if you just happen to schoolboy Crunk and pull his tights and get a pin, can it end? But we have to get this thing down, and somebody has to get hit with it.
Yeah, for real.
I think these are fair questions you should probably ask before the bell rings Saturday.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until like after the entrances and everything, and then I'm just gonna be like, wait a goddamn minute, I've got a few things I need to clear up.
But it definitely is going to. I mean, it's one of those matches where when you describe all those elements and Shean Christopher's involved, you're like, well, some crazy shit's going to happen. We're going to need to buy a ticket. We're going to need to go down there and see this because you've got all this bad blood. And like you said, at this point now, we've got over a year that this has all boiled over in the time since he went away and y'all split up, and then now he's back. And, I figured there's an element of, hey, you've been gone for a year and I've been here busting my ass and doing what I can to become the man. You're not just going to stroll back in here and beat my ass. You're going to fucking, work your way up the ladder, literally, apparently Saturday night. So there's a lot of elements to the story. So, and that's one thing I'll say for New South. You guys are good at telling stories. It's not just, on so many indie shows, it's just all about the spots and it's all just, about matches. But you guys do a good job of telling stories and drawing people in, and people kind of have to follow along because they do. I mean, like I say, this is a story now that's played out for over a year. What other indie can you say in recent times have had storylines that stretch out, for over a year before you finally see some kind of payoff to it? So
yeah.
So speaking of other indies, so I know recently you've been over in Georgia at a couple of Southern Honor shows. It's been said online. I don't know. Hopefully that's not secret. I've seen Mr. God, I'm blanking out his name. He's been on the show before. Who's the guy that does all the reports over there? Larry Goodman. So it was in Larry Goodman's report, so I figure it's public knowledge. But so what was your opinion of just being backstage and seeing how the show was ran and everything, what was your opinion? I mean, you don't have to compare and contrast it to New South because I mean that's your main show, but just going over there and having worked as many shows as you have across the South, what was your opinion of Southern Honor and what was your takeaway from it?
I actually really enjoy like the locker room over there. At least like the people, like all the performers are like real cool. For the most part, like there is. I mean, everywhere has like they're
Oh yeah,
like fuck them, but it's actually ran like uh, it's so weird because it's like a super tight, like tightly run ship, but also like the inmates are running the asylum all like kind of at the same time. To where like
mm,
there's like a sheet that's like real detailed, like way more detailed than like I would ever see pretty much anywhere else I've wrestled, but like super detailed, like what the finish and like kind of like what throughout the match, things like that that I
yeah,
typically see at other places. But also, it just seems like for the most part, like some of those are like use the suggestions as opposed to like concrete what they are.
right,
So, specifically, like the last show, I was there was like this big like 8 man or fucking I don't remember 6 man like cage match or whatever, and I was like reading the match like just ended, and I'd watched the finish, and I went back and just like read the sheet, and I was reading the finish, and I was like, this is what's like so weird because like none of this happened on this sheet, like none of that happened, like it's like nothing even resembling it happened. So like I don't, but yeah, so like it's like not a bad place. Gary Lamb, like Jesus Christ, man, it's like he just talks a lot of shit.
yes,
But like at the end of the day, like I don't really uh like associate like speak to him ever when I'm there. He like casually says hello to like Morgana, like, and that's pretty much all I see of him.
yeah.
So like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I like thought I would originally when it was all like fuck Southern Honor and fucking New South for life, brother. When that was the fucking
Yeah.
that was the thing that had to happen. Everyone had to pick sides on the Alabama wrestling war
And I
bullshit.
was like, they're all the way over there in Georgia. These guys are in Alabama. Obviously, somebody from New South left that fucking shirt over there because Gary Lamb didn't buy a goddamn New South hoodie to put it
Yeah.
on the toilet. So somebody left it there. And we can kind of do the math on who from New South was wrestling there at the time, who could have accidentally left it there or on purpose or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't notice how. I mean, I didn't understand how that blew up like it did. But then again, how does any of this shit
For
that
real.
ever gets stirred up, get
Yeah.
blown up? And because it's shit that doesn't matter. Like it's not like you guys are really in any kind of competition. Yeah, you're both on IWTV, but you're not fighting for. You're not airing on the same night. You're not fighting for the same crowd. So why? But like you said, Gary's a big shit talker. I mean, we had him on the me and Xanders had him on the show.
Who did you?
Yeah, yeah, about a year ago.
Oh,
Right in the midst of all that, honestly, is when that was kind of at the height of that shit. And I didn't know the guy from Adam. Xander's invited him on. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna get Larry, or not Larry, fucking Gary Lamb from Southern Honor to come on." I'm like, "Who the fuck's that?" I really wasn't familiar with him. I'd seen a couple of them shows on IWTV, or seen like parts of them. I'd never watched all the way through. And we brought him on. I mean, he's a nice guy, but I was just shocked at how little he knew about wrestling, and really how little he seemed to really care to know about wrestling. Is like he lets Dylan do all the booking and all that, and he just kind of gets online and hypes it up and talks a lot of shit. And I had to unfollow him a long time ago because I just couldn't read that shit every day, day in and day out. But
he's a lot. But yeah, he really like has no idea how wrestling works. It's real wild that, and like you said, he like doesn't have any desire to like even pretend like he wants to
mm-mm.
understand. He's like, fuck it. I mean, I'm just here. I
He's
just
like, I started running the show. I mean, I kind of knew who Sting was, but I mean, really, I like he was booking like Kyle Matthews and all these indie guys he'd never heard of them. They'd never laid eyes on them, and I was like, wow, that's crazy.
it's really just like kind of fell into your lap, and you're like one of the luckiest guys like in wrestling, like to have all this talent just kind of sitting in your locker room.
And you
And you
don't know
don't,
who the hell none of them are, or what they're, what it means to have them there. But
yeah.
uh, you know, Whatever, man. But yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of interested because like I haven't everybody else that I've talked to off the show and on are a big part of the roster, so they're drinking the Kool Aid. So you can't really get an honest answer. I was like, well, I'm gonna ask Sean because he was there, but it's not like I know why he was there, so it's not like he's gonna have a reason. I mean, I know you're not gonna come here and bury him, but at the same time, you're gonna be like, oh yes, it was the greatest experience of my life, and they've really got wrestling figured out over there, man. Like it's all because that's how everybody else is. Like it's not ran like any other show in the world. I mean, it's like a mini WWE, and like
Uh,
really,
uh,
really,
uh, yeah, I know. Like it seems like there's that sheet that like kind of runs through everything, but the thing that I feel is missing is like a meeting or like a meeting like with individual matches to like kind of because like yeah, it's easier to like portray it like from what I'm me telling you or like
yeah,
trying to explain to you what I want as opposed to just reading it from a sheet and then trying to interpret that yourself. So I think like that's what would be like missing as opposed to like running the Southern Honor fucking the ship more smoothly.
right.
Fucking grammar words.
So like I said, this Saturday night, October 30th, New South and Hartselle, you're going to be taking on Chris Crunk in a Stairway to Hell match. Suggest everybody come out and check that out. But besides that, what do you see in the future for Shean Christopher? What's your goals? What's next?
Oh man, that's a rough question. Or like right now, especially because I've like kind of been more recently kind of figuring out like or trying to figure out like what do I want out of all this? Like that's been a question on my mind a lot lately. Anyways, but I know that like I want to beat Chris Crunk on October 30th for sure. Uh, I want to get through like the rest of this year. Is really just like I don't have a lot going on for the rest of the year. I know there's a show I have actually Friday that I haven't actually been announced for yet, so I don't know if like well I mean at this point like I should whatever dude. It's fucking I'm doing Journey Pro in Missouri on Friday. For
Nice.
fucking Stairway to Hell match. So that's cool. Like I've never wrestled in Missouri before, so that's like a good step in the right direction because like New South's great, but like I feel like I've kind of gotten comfortable, like too comfortable there to where like I just like I'm there all the time and it's kind of becoming like what I would say like Pro South kind of used to be to me to where it just
Yeah.
seems just I'm there just because like I have to be there. Like I'm just it's kind of like a just
It's
repetition.
not a knock on it, but it's your comfort zone. It's like,
I'm just too comfortable there.
yeah,
I like find something to like to break me out of the comfort zone, like go different places and like so that's really the big goal is to try to like find new places to go and like be uncomfortable and try to get Shean Christopher over with like different audiences because like New South knows it, they love it, they hate it, like whatever their opinion is on it, like they have it by now. So
yeah.
so that's
Well,
our like
th-
established.
that puts a whole nother spin on it because having the benefit of having done all this television and built the story from day one there, when you come out Saturday night, all you have to do is come out and have your match with Chris Crunk because the New South audience, they know who Shean Christopher is, they know who your members of your stable are, they know why you're there to wrestle Chris Crunk, they know what your issue is. But when you go to Missouri and walk through that curtain, you've got to figure out, okay, how from the time I leave the curtain to get to the ring and the bell rings, how do I let these brand new crowd of people know who I am, what I'm about, why I'm here, and what they can expect? And that
Exactly.
is a whole, I mean, that's a huge challenge because that's a lot to tell in the 20, 30 feet, whatever it is that's going to be, if you get out in the ring. So
Yeah.
and that to me is the fun part. I'm the same way, man. Back when I was managing and wrestling and all that shit, Pro South was fun for a long time because it was a very vocal crowd. But after a while, it's like, man, I've said every hateful thing I know to say to them. They've said every hateful thing they know to say to me. but to go somewhere new where when I come through the curtain, they're like, is this, I mean, he's coming out the heel side or he's coming out first, so he's got to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
But, then when you hit them with it and then they go, oh God, fuck this guy, that was like gave me the rush whenever I went and could win over, I didn't really win over, but make a new bunch of people hate me for a new reason. It was fun. And that's the challenge. And like you say, once you've been somewhere for a while and your story's been told, it starts getting challenging to make that fun or make it even interesting. It's like, oh, they already know, and
Yeah.
they already decided they like me, they hate me, or whatever. Is tonight really going to make that big a difference? And that's not to downplay your role there. I'm sure there's plenty more for you to do, plenty more stories to tell. I'm sure at some point you'd like to get a hold of that big gold belt at New South, but it's only going to make you a better performer to go these other places and, continue to learn how to get that character over in front of different audiences.
Exactly. Exactly. So right now that's the big goal is to like try to figure out like who Shean Christopher is outside of New South, like how to portray and like get that over, like you said, in the 45 seconds before a match that I have to like do that in front of a new crowd. So that's what I'm looking forward to is to like getting out and doing that again because it's
Well, I feel like your entrance and everything, you do a good job of that. I feel like, I mean, I know you kind of said there's a Jesus Christ element to it enough to lose a building over, but
yeah,
I've kind of, to me, I've felt like it's like a modern take on Raven in a lot of ways.
yeah,
I don't know how much old ECW or his time in WCW you watched, but he was kind of a cult leader esque type, and he had the guys underneath him that it was all about getting Raven the win, getting they would sacrifice themselves to for the betterment of Raven, and that's kind of how I felt. How I felt. The presentation of your characters is Sean and Braden is there to make sure that Shean Christopher gets what he needs, whatever that situation may call for. I mean, yeah, they were tag champions and stuff, and that's cool too. But that's just kind of how I take. Not to say that you do anything that's ripping him off or anything. It's like, oh well, he's doing Raven, but I'm just saying it's a similar dynamic,
yeah.
but with a completely unique take on it.
And like I definitely like, as soon as like the idea even like passed that like any of this was like gonna be done, like the first thing I did was I went to fucking ECW and I watched a shit ton of like old Raven. I was like, the first step was like, okay, well I need to see like how this is done in a wrestling aspect, and then after that it was like I just sat in like a room for like literally like 3 full days and like didn't leave and just watched like cult leaders talk and like they're fucking like seeing how they acted and their mannerisms and giving their speeches and like how their followers reacted to them and like all these things, just trying to like analyze how these people fucking work and like how their brains are. And then like also see like it's wild to see like Raven, to like start out with Raven and watch him do it in like a wrestling aspect and then watch the cult leader thing and just be like Raven really had this shit like perfect. Like I could not,
Yeah,
like I can try to add or like take things away, but like he just kind of found like the perfect fucking like blend of the two.
yeah. You can tell he did a lot of studying like that too. And Scott Levy's a very intelligent guy. If when you watch shoot interviews and some of those training tapes he did and things like that. But I mean, it impresses me that you did that. That you didn't just study wrestling tapes. You studied cult leaders and people outside the wrestling bubble, because that to me is what really gets a character over, because that's what a lot of people do is like, well, I'm going to do this wrestling character, so I'm going to study every wrestling character that did something similar.
Yeah,
And so they just come at everything from the wrestling side of it, or they're just like, well, I'm going to be a cult leader, so I'm going to dress like a cult leader. But they don't actually study up on how a cult leader acts, how they treat their people, how they interact with people. So the fact that you did that, I mean, I applaud you for that, because that work that you put in is paying off, because it never has to me come off like, okay, well, this is just the Shean Christopher we're all used to, dressing different and acting like something else. I mean, when you came out for that match at Hoss, you're like you said, it felt like you were watching a new character. You were watching somebody that is been recreated into something different, and that's what it's been since. And so I can tell you that the work you put in paid off, and it's continuing to pay off. And keep at it, man. Like I say, to imagine I'm sitting here, the little ring announcer I used to pick on
I know.
at Pro South is sitting here with X's over his eyes, and we're talking about all the stuff that you've done in the last couple of years. Is pretty wild.
Yeah, it is absolutely insane that like I saw like fucking Chastity, like the Pro South fan at like a Gadsden New South show like a couple months ago, and it just like hit me. I was like, this woman has literally watched my entire wrestling career. Like, and then like Gene Jackson, you're the first person that I literally ever interacted with like anything in wrestling at all. Like my first wrestling match, like run in or anything, was dressing as a fucking super soldier and running in on Gene Jackson in a big cage match. So
After you stole my shirt and stuck a pillow underneath it and took that picture, which I still laugh at, man. Like it's saved in my pictures on my computer, and I was looking for something a while back, and I scrolled across that picture. And I stop for a minute, laugh like that. Because the great thing was y'all didn't tell me y'all were going to do it. I used to just leave my shirt hanging back there sometimes, and I wouldn't take it with me. And I had left it back there, and it couldn't come when it was Halloween. It was the Halloween show.
yeah.
And I couldn't be there that week. And I'm at home and scrolling through Facebook, and there they posted a picture of you holding the baseball bat with a pillow under that shirt, which I thought was the funniest shit ever. But then I had to come back the next week acting just enraged and come back and punch you in the stomach over it and all that, which I had that picture too, the selfie we took right before I hit you in the stomach. And that's what I mean, man. Like I watched the cool shit you're doing. I'm like, man, I can't believe that's the kid that was the ring announcer that we did that silly stuff with, years ago. But
It's insane.
here we are.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Well, man, I wish you luck this Saturday. Be safe in that Stairway to Hell match, because, like I said, that reads like this could be another highlight on the Shean Christopher highlight reel, or low light, depending whether you're looking at it as from the fan perspective of holy shit, look at that, or the Shean Christopher's perspective of holy shit, I've got to try to get out of bed the next morning, and it's going to be a challenge. So stay safe, man. Good luck, and keep in touch, man. You're always welcome to come on anytime. I enjoy talking to you. You've always got some fun stories to tell, and just keep running the roads and making new ones, and we'll keep bringing you back and letting you tell them on here.
Man, thank you, Gene. It's always a pleasure getting to chat with you. One of my favorite podcasters of all time, for real.
Well, I appreciate it, because there's 10 fucking million of them. So, and I enjoyed your podcast you did there for a while. I wanted to get on it before you stopped doing it, but
Yeah, I did the heel turn, and then they were like, "Man, you can't do that podcast anymore because like you're a spooky guy, so like you can't do that." And then like once I finally got to the point where I was like, "Man, I really don't give a fuck. Like I can just kind of be myself anyways," because I feel like it's like so detached, and like everyone kind of knows like everything.
Yeah.
That what's the point? By the time I got there, I was like, you know what? I thought about it. I was like, there are so many other like podcasters, and there's so many more that are like doing it better than I would ever do. So I do not need to just be like diluting the podcast.
That's what makes me keep quitting. Well, that, and I just get burnt out. I'll do it for 7, 8 months or a year, and I'll get burnt out, because it's a chore scheduling these things every week and trying to work around everybody's schedule. And there's so fucking many of them. But at the same time, like, what always ends up happening, and what ended up happening this time, is like I was looking through my YouTube and listening to some of the old podcasts, and I thought, man, you're like, yeah, there's a lot of them out there, but like not really in this area so much. And like, you guys need somebody here to help document your stories and kind of tell your. I mean, because like, say, if me and you had never done a podcast before, and we just sat down and talked today, but we're going to talk probably about the same exact stuff we talked about now. I mean, we might dip back into how you got started, and tell me about how you started, who was your first match, all that shit. But like some of those fun stories, like the Lord Humongous story, and the fucking guy, with the PayPal and the payoff and that kind of shit. Like those stories might not have got told, man, and those need to be documented. And there's going to be a time, and here's the way I look at it, and people probably call me crazy for this, but like even if a bunch of fans don't listen to it or whatever, there's going to be a time, dude, when you're 40 years old like I am, these fucking podcasts are still going to be on the internet, and it's going to be fun for you to go back and listen to Shean Christopher's wrestling career in 2017, 2018, and just listen to those stories like, oh shit, I forgot about that. That's crazy, and then forward it to somebody. And if me doing this serves no other purpose other than that, I think it's worthwhile because there's shit I like to go back and listen to. And I'm like, oh man, I forgot. Yeah, hell yeah, I forgot we did that or whatever. So it's really just documenting, friends of mine because, every once in a while I'll interview somebody I don't really know or whatever. But mostly it's just guys like you, guys I know, guys I'm friends with, guys that, we're all so busy. You don't really take the time just to have a conversation on the phone, but we'll take the time to record this shit because we think somebody will listen to it, and hopefully they do. And they do. They get good downloads. I don't mean to downplay what we're doing here, but that's what keeps me coming back doing it, though, is just because it may not be the best podcast or maybe 500 other ones, but I do think we cover. It's not your usual generic of God, man, I'll listen to some of these, and even like people I've interviewed before, I'll listen to interviews with other people, and the questions and shit are so generic. Like I feel like it flows like a conversation that even if we weren't recording right now, if me and you were just like standing in the back of the show, this is the same shit we would have talked about, and so we're doing it here for everybody to listen to. So I'm glad you enjoy it. Like I say, this is going to come out Wednesday, and I'll tag you in it and send it to you, and we'll get it out there. And like I say, don't kill yourself Saturday.
I will do my best.
But like I say, hey man, your hard work's paying off. I love the character. Just keep doing what you're doing, and good luck in Missouri too.
Thank you, Gene. I appreciate it.
Take care, buddy.
See you, man.
Bye. All right, man. There he is, Shean Christopher. Like I say, he's a good guy, man. I've known him since he was the young punk doing the ring announcing. So he's out there. He's recreated himself a couple of times now, and I like what he's doing. If you want to check it out, if you haven't before, IWTV, go check out New South Action Clashes. Like you said, he's on there, almost every week, either wrestling or doing a promo, or his guys are out there. So check them out. And if you want to check out more of this podcast, if you want to add me on Facebook, if you want to follow me on Twitter, if you want to add me on Instagram, if you want to go to the YouTube page where all my old podcasts, or not all, but most of the old podcasts are, go to GeneJacksonPod.com. Everything Gene Jackson related is there that you would ever want to do, and probably others you wouldn't. But anyway, it's all there, GeneJacksonPod.com. Also, check out producer Smokey that produces this show. Also produces another podcast for a guy we all know named Whitey Jenkins, who's quite the character. WhiteyJenkins.com. You can go there. You can check out his new podcast that he just started. He's got his first episode out right now with Justin Klein from EPW. More episodes coming soon, so you can check those out at WhiteyJenkins.com, GeneJacksonPod.com. Thank you for listening again. Thank Shean Christopher for coming on the show, and keep checking back on Facebook and GeneJacksonPod.com for our next big interview here, as I'll sit down one-on-one with somebody and we'll talk about some wrestling. Thanks for watching.